Now at 6, rain, lightning, and hurricane-force winds. The storm rocked Houston overnight, and this morning we have crews live all over town reporting on the aftermath.
We are starting off dry this morning, but we had strong winds which created all that damage and 1 to even upwards of 4 inches of rain.
And bumper-to-bumper conditions here in Galveston County with an issue that has popped up, possibly deadly.
Plus, we are seeing damage all over town, from massive power outages to trees blocking roadways. The top things you need to know as you wake up this morning. KHOU 11 Morning News starts now. And thank you for being up early with us. I'm Kimberly Davis.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie Simmons. And as of right now, it's been nearly 12 hours since the storms hit Houston, and we are only starting to get a clear picture of all the damage left behind.
That's right. Cheetah Craft and Jennifer Reyna are joining us now for weather and traffic. Jennifer, we're going to begin with you. A lot of downed trees and power lines making it a dangerous morning commute.
Yeah, we all know the winds were the culprit here in town, which did a huge piece of damage in the middle of the city, downtown, out towards 610, and definitely inside of the Beltway. A very important message to pass on from CenterPoint Energy. There is smart meter technology, so it lets them know that your power is out. There's no need to hold to speak to an agent. If you are making calls, please keep those phone lines open for reporting hazardous conditions like live wires that could be problematic. So just know the difference between an emergency and a non-emergency situation. Metro services, HOV lanes are closed other than I-10. I'm seeing local bus service that is up and operating. Debris has halted some of the rail services, so that is not dependable either this morning. We do have a possible deadly auto pedestrian crash. We definitely know it's an auto pedestrian crash. Gulf Freeway southbound direction right near 61st. I'm showing you some of the backup here. You'll need to be patient if you're headed toward the island. You can see emergency crews are on scene, and they might be for a good while. Also delays on the east side of Baytown, 146 northbound at Massey Tompkins Road. You do have about a half a mile of delays. Katy Freeway inbound approaching downtown at 36 miles per hour, slower than normal with road debris that has been reported in a moving lane of traffic. Do want to show you 146 out on the east side of town at the Fred Hartman Bridge, where traffic is up and running, and there are some street lights that are up, but we saw a lot of those Houston Transtar cameras out, Cheetah, because of the high winds.
Yeah, we did. I mean, plenty of gusts yesterday between 45 to 85 miles per hour, and at those four-way stops there at an intersection when the lights are out, you just really can't see anything just yet. So yeah, it is difficult this morning. Next complex of thunderstorms, what I'm tracking just south of San Antonio, that is moving our direction. We will see about a 30% chance today of an isolated shower to an isolated thunderstorm. So today's not completely rain-free. Clouds are in place through about 8-9 o'clock this morning, and then there's that 20% chance of a little spotty shower almost anywhere through your lunchtime hour. Getting into the afternoon, the thunderstorms that develop want to stay concentrated south of I-10, so mainly right along the coastal areas. At this point, it doesn't look severe, and the rain accumulation stays light. But guys, power being restored is the utmost priority as we head into the weekend. It is going to be about the heat with low 90s and feels like more in the upper 90s. I'll send it back to you.
All right, better days ahead. Thank you so much, Cheetah. And right now at 6:03 this morning, as you continue to wake up with us, crews are working to get the lights back on to hundreds of thousands of people who are still without power.
Yeah, this comes after yesterday's severe storm knocked over trees, damaged buildings, and took out power line towers. Take a look at this video from viewer Jeff Baker of a construction site completely demolished by the force of the wind there. And then more video, this time from viewer Jared Clark. Thank you for sending this in to us. It shows a tree that toppled over from the wind in northwest Houston. And take a look at these images from Cypress on Washington Avenue and in Spring Branch. Construction sites and entire buildings collapse under the force of those winds that our KHOU 11 weather team says were as strong as a Category 1 hurricane.
And right now, we know at least 4 people were killed during yesterday's severe storms. Now, we are learning that 2 of those victims were killed by falling trees. This is video showing one of those scenes on Avenue O in East Houston, and according to Houston police, the victim was a 31-year-old mother who went outside to move her car to somewhere safer when that tree fell over, killing her. Another victim was killed just a few blocks north of that scene we just showed you. We're told this victim is an elderly man who was in the cab of a cement truck when the wind blew 2 cranes over, falling onto that truck's cab. No one else inside of that truck was hurt. Our team is in place to cover it all for you this morning, all across town. Katira Winfrey is in the Heights, Stephanie Whitfield is in Spring Branch, and our Ugochi Iloka is live in downtown, and we're going to check in with them in just a moment. But right now, crews are working to restore power. According to CenterPoint, more than 733,000 customers still do not have their lights on today, but more than 89,000 customers have had power restored in just the last 24 hours. And
as of right now, some of the area's biggest districts have canceled classes for today due to the widespread damage. That includes Houston ISD, Cy-Fair ISD, Aldine ISD, Klein ISD, and Pasadena ISD, among others. We do have a full list of all of those closures scrolling for you at the bottom of your screen, and you can also find that list on khou.com. Time now is 6:06. Let's get a quick check on the bayous and rivers in the area. According to the Harris County Flood Warning System, all of the rivers and channels are within their banks right now, so a little bit of good news. Meanwhile, downtown Houston was hit hard by the storm overnight. In this video, you can see windows shattered, buildings damaged, and glass covering the roads. Very dangerous there.
And at 6:06, our Ugochi Iloka is joining us live from downtown this morning. Ugochi, we heard the strong winds howling from last night's storm, but really seeing this damage puts things into perspective for us.
It does. And right now we're live off of Dallas and Louisiana Street. We want to show you the damage we're seeing here. You can see right behind me at this intersection, so much glass scattered all along the street here. But what's even more surprising and alarming is we've seen several trucks and cars actually drive through all this glass, even some people walking through it. Officials encourage you not to do that. That is extremely dangerous. Now we're going to move on up here to this high-rise tower where you can see that hundreds of glass windows are blown out here. Here's a live look inside one of the office building spaces inside of there, the rooms there. You can see lights still on, but again, windows blown out. Just to let you know how powerful the winds were last night. Many workers were left scrambling for safety. Were inside. Workers on the higher floors say they felt the towers really sway and the whipping wind, very terrifying for many. Take a listen.
It sounded like a train horn, like 10 train horns, like everything you've heard from, people that live through tornadoes.
Yeah, again, back out here live, another look at the towers here this morning. Of course, you can see as the sun comes out, more of the damage, blown out windows, as well as the glass here live on the ground here off of Dallas and Louisiana Street. Another thing I want to stress is I actually was out at the GRB a couple of blocks away from here emceeing the Africa a Day event in Houston, and we felt that wind as well in that building. We were worried that the glasses would break in too. Thankfully, nothing happened there, but we could feel it and we could hear it, just to let you know how strong the winds were out here last night. Reporting live in downtown Houston, Ugochi Iloka, KHOU 11 News.
All right, good notes there, Ugochi. Downtown Houston was rocked hard last night. And by the way, to keep yourself safe, use your best judgment out there on the roadway. Ugochi was just talking about glass on the roads. Police are all over town trying to keep people safe, so those roadways might not be blocked by them, so just turn around if you can. Right now, officials want you to stay off the roads, as I was just saying, if you can, as they work to clear fallen trees and down power lines all across the area. Meanwhile, if you see a tree blocking a roadway, Houston Public Works is asking you to call 311 to report it. CenterPoint is being flooded right now with calls, so they only want you to report emergencies where down power lines could actually hurt someone, and only call 911 for life-threatening emergencies.
Time now is 6:09, and we know a lot of people want to go outside to survey the damage this morning as the sun comes up, but we do want to warn you it is still very dangerous until crews have cleared the down power lines. CenterPoint says it's important to assume that all lines are energized, which means they are dangerous. They recommend that you stay at least 35 feet away from down lines. Another reminder this morning, never spray a sparking or burning wire with water, and never attempt to remove tree limbs or any object from power lines. Leave that to the professionals. And right now, people in the Spring Branch area are also waking up to widespread damage.
Our Stephanie Whitfield is live for us in that area this morning at Bingle and Hempstead. And Stephanie, earlier we could see all the damage behind you. Just a shocking scene this morning. It looks really bad where you are.
Yeah, this building behind me was a business called Eden's Tire Shop, but it was totally demolished last night. The building toppled over into the middle of the street. It's spilling over onto Bingle. It also took big power lines down with it. Police told us last night that they've been de-energized, which is why they're allowing us to be here and walk around safely. There's also a mail truck that's sitting right there. It flipped over on its side. Luckily, the driver was able to get out without any serious injuries. But I'm glad to tell you, the owner of this store is safe this morning, too. He was actually here when the storm hit, and he had to hide behind tires to avoid getting hurt.
It's hard because it's my work for like 2 years and I have my family business, and it's hard. It's really hard.
Voice. This morning, he and so many other Spring Branch residents are going to begin the process of cleaning up. I know a lot of people want to know when the power is going to be back on, but with so many trees and power lines down, police say it could be a couple days. And as we've mentioned, that also means a lot of traffic signals are out. So be careful as you start driving around today. Stephanie Whitfield, KHOU 11 News.
Patience is key in this one. Stephanie Whitfield, thank you for that live report. And right now, you can always share weather photos and videos by using the KHOU 11 app. Just go to the Near Me section at the bottom, click Share with Us, then follow the steps to upload. But make sure you are always in a safe place before you capture any picture and decide to send it to us.
All right, Cheetah, at 6:11, we've been talking about all of the power outages across the area. So you and I were talking in the break. If the outages last more than 24, possibly 48 hours, what do people need to be concerned about then?
You know, we were talking about this as we head into the weekend. It becomes more about the heat. So temperatures are going to be in the 90s, both Saturday and Sunday. Feels like temperatures more into the upper 90s. And looking at some of our storm reports from yesterday, the reason we just have so many power outages, I mean, still hundreds of thousands of people waking up without power. Traffic lights are down, and we're not even talking about debris. Look at the storm reports. Rarely inside the city do you see this. I mean, we had plenty of wind gusts around 70 to 80 miles per hour within downtown. I mean, really populated areas that saw these really peak wind gusts of over a hurricane force wind, so over a Category 1 hurricane. Possible rotation. What's interesting, the National Weather Service is going to have to go out, survey the damage. I don't even know how they're going to begin that, but once we get that information, of course, we will pass that on to you. As far as how much rain we saw yesterday, we had plenty of high water spots. That water has receded because it was so quickly to rise. So 1 to 2 inches of rain within the city. That's why we saw some high water spots, but it was those 2 to 4 inch rain accumulations north of San Jacinto, Polk County, Walker County, and that's where some active advisories are. But otherwise, that flood watch expired. Here's our next complex of thunderstorms. You know, Jen, I wish today was a completely rain-free day. It's not. It's not going to be severe like last night, but we will have to watch a few of these thunderstorms. Notice just south of San Antonio immediately for our coastal areas once we get to the afternoon.
Yeah, we just need to stay away from those high winds. And I don't know what's worse, flooding or no power, but I know a lot of you have been dealing with either problem over the last several weeks. So sorry about that, Houston. We have an update here in traffic. An auto pedestrian crash in Galveston County still impacting drivers. 45 headed southbound right near 61st is where you will see these brake lights. Emergency crews are on scene. It'll cost you a little bit of time, but not completely impassable. We do have delays on 146 northbound at Massey Tompkins Road, so be advised. We have slow traffic conditions on the Katy Freeway, not only approaching the 610 West Loop, but also within downtown. Possible debris in a moving lane of traffic, speeds as slow as 32 miles per hour, so watch out for that. We have a crash on the South Loop. This is westbound. Not only is it a tight squeeze due to construction, so this would be the 288 interchange, but a right lane is now blocked with emergency crews that just pulled up on scene about 45 minutes ago. So it's going to be slow going at Cullen and MLK if you are a 610 driver on the south side. Here's some of the backup on the Katy Freeway approaching downtown due to possible road debris in a moving lane of traffic as you leave the Heights and come inbound. Over to you.
Folks will certainly need to take their time this morning. Jennifer, thank you. Time now is 6:14.
Our weather coverage